We're going to watch what you bet tonight. One of the more interesting segments that we do have. We're gamblers out here. There's going to be games on ESPN. We want to bet those games and give you a breakdown of those. The ACC, Teddy, going to take center stage tonight down on Tobacco Row. North Carolina State versus North Carolina, 9 p.m. on ESPN from PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. NC State, Teddy, 10-0 at home. But we've also seen the North Carolina Tar Heels elevate their competitional play, beating Gonzaga, but on the road, went against Michigan and got slapped. Now going to go into a tough environment. What's going to take place in this game, Teddy?
Well, we're talking about two teams that have been point spread monsters so far this season. NC State, the better of the two, but combined 19-7-2 against the spread for North Carolina and North Carolina State. Tar Heels and Wolfpack backers have been making good cash so far this season. Last year, road team won and covered both meetings. This is not a series where the home court tends to matter a whole lot. And we're talking about two teams. Look at this total of $171.5. Both teams top 12 in the country in offensive efficiency, according to Ken Palm's numbers. If you're not looking at Ken Palm's numbers, you're not betting college basketball at a serious level. But Ken Palm, of course, ranks 352 teams, both in North Carolina and NC State, in the top 12 of those 352 teams. The Wolfpack in particular, 52% shooting for the season, better than 40% from three-point range. Team that can get stops tonight is going to win this ballgame. I'm not convinced either team is going to get a whole lot of stops. I think this game has real shootout potential.
Also, Teddy, looking at adjusted tempo for both of these squads, both top 15 in the country. So not only getting good shooting and good execution on offense, you're also getting the tempo there that could lead to some extra possession. So an interesting one down there on Tobacco Row. Second game we're going to take a look at, battle in Lubbock, Texas tonight. Oklahoma and Texas Tech. It looks like the line's right now sitting -6.5 as the home favorite for Texas Tech. Total 132, Teddy. So again, a little bit of a different dichotomy from the early game that we're going to take a look at to the later one here. Money line coming up plus 235, -280 in some outlets. ESPN News Game, 9 p.m., live from Lubbock, Texas. Oklahoma comes in 12-2, and Texas Tech firing at 13-1, and that only lost, Teddy, in Madison Square Garden to those Duke Blue Devils. How about a quick preview for this game as well?
Sure, exactly. I mean, two teams that have gotten off to really hot starts, and it's because of their defense. Texas Tech, #1 overall defense in college basketball so far this season. We saw them get the job done when they traveled to West Virginia. In a tough environment there, getting the stops they needed down the stretch of a tough game. When you're the #1 overall defense, you're going to attract betting market support, and the Red Raiders have all season long. Oklahoma, #6 in overall defense. So you can anticipate a relatively slow pace, not many open looks, not a lot of transition baskets. Certainly has the feel of an under-type contest. Really interesting here, 12-2 versus 13-1, straight up. But the reality is not 12-2 versus 13-1 for bettors. The reality is 12-1-1 versus 5-9. Oklahoma has been a consistently undervalued commodity from day one this season. Texas Tech hasn't. So a little bit of steam towards the Red Raiders here. Not with my money.